Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And this episode, as all Wednesday episodes are, is sponsored by Greyfox Games. So, how's life been, guys? We're week two in this new studio.
Indeed.
We don't have a guest this time.
No, just us three.
Just us three.
This is the first time with just us three in this room recording.
Correct.
All right.
Yes.
It's
cooler in here.
Yeah?
It is a much cooler day. We still are going to leave the AC running, at least for a bit. But after the heat debacle last week, we turned the AC on mid episode, and we talked about it. A few people reached out and were like,
"Just leave it on."
Yeah, I didn't hear anything. Just leave it on. It's fine. And then somebody was even like, it was somebody on the Slack, and I'm drawing a blank on who it was. But they were like, "What if I didn't notice any noise, but I want to tell you I noticed noise so that you leave it off and just sweat to death?"
And I said, "I approve this opinion."
Yeah.
Still no fan in here. Just a bare light bulb.
That will be some time. Now, that's a little bit more of a major project. I did discover I tried plugging some stuff into this outlet over here on this wall. Right now it's just my laptop, but I had tried plugging in a little like multiple thing outlet and plugging in your charger cable so that it'd be like right there.
Yes.
For one, it wasn't anywhere long enough.
Yes.
And also, as soon as I plugged it in, it tripped the breaker in that switch, which then killed power to the entire room.
All right, so we know don't touch that socket.
Yeah, so stay well away from there.
Indeed.
It can hold your computer and that's it.
Yes, that seems to be the extent of the load that can handle.
Weird.
Yeah.
Soon your house will be on fire, just like the rest of Colorado.
Yeah. It is super hazy. I'm pretty sure there were no clouds today, but the skies were not blue.
No, I couldn't see to the end of downtown into the mountains today, which I normally can.
I haven't seen those I haven't seen the mountains in like a week.
Yeah. And you're driving around all the time too.
And it sucks because they're right there. It's not like they're really far.
Yeah.
It's just that bad. Nick, one of our friends, works up in like Broomfield, Boulder area, and he couldn't even see the Flatirons from his office, which are like a 20-minute walk away.
Wow.
It's hazy. I don't know. That's probably excessive.
That's
excessive. They're not that close.
No, they're not.
But they're close to where he works.
Yes.
Closer than the mountains are to any of us, and he still couldn't see the Flatirons.
Yeah. Maybe a 20-minute drive.
This is mostly California fire smoke, I believe. Not so much Colorado fire smoke, I think.
I think mostly California, yeah.
We're just inhaling California smoke now.
Oh, the robble, California liberals ruining everything in Colorado. Robble.
They're all moving here with their fires.
That's what I grew up hearing. It's how the Californians were ruining Colorado.
Oh.
I still hear about how the Californians, and to be fair, the Texans. It's interesting.
And the people from Chicago.
My redneck Colorado family equally hated the California liberals and the Texas Republicans that were all moving to Colorado to ruin our beautiful state.
Gotcha.
Equal opportunity hatred for outsiders from my extended family.
That sounds like Colorado natives.
Yep.
None of us are actually from Colorado.
Well, I am.
Yes, technically. Yeah.
I've lived here for 10 of my 33 years.
Yes, there you go.
5, my first 5, and my most recent 5.
There you go. Just a 27-year split right in the middle there.
Yep.
The nice shit sandwich.
Sure, those weren't formative years or anything.
No.
Now that we've had a little bit of historical background of Adrian.
No, I just want to cut that.
What have you guys been playing?
Board games?
Board games, video games? What have you been playing? What have you been doing?
My computer's
What's happened?
My computer's still down until Zach gives me a video card that he's had sitting around.
Yes.
As you do.
Because I don't have onboard graphics. They just announced all of the new graphics cards, so I can wait for all the sweet 1080s to hit eBay here pretty soon for a good price. I can get it for like, sometimes $300 for like a $500 video card, something like that. I mean, it's all used hardware, which is always kind of but...
Did you ever talk to Eric?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, he was at Heather's party thing, but I ended up not doing that and just playing Founders of Gloomhaven.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's just so far.
It's far.
It's very far.
It's closer to me now.
Yes.
I've been watching a lot of the Star Wars Clone Wars cartoon show.
Okay.
I've
From,
heard
like-
really good things.
Like
about
2005,
Yeah.
2006, because they announced that new season, and then I
Mhm.
heard it was good, and I've always meant to watch them, and then now that I don't have really much to do at home
Mhm.
because I can't sit on a computer, I could play God of War for the PS4, I guess, but I've been watching the Clone Wars.
Mhm.
That show is brutal.
Yeah, it is.
Just people dying left and right, like
Mhm.
no problem.
Yeah.
It's not quite I don't know, Game of Thrones death. No major characters really, but they always give the clones names and then they immediately kill them
Yeah.
like no problem, and not like good ways. It's a graphic show, not like
it is. No, it is a computer graphic show. Yeah.
God damn it, Zach.
it's not like they're getting torn apart, but they are
it's graphic in a PG way,
yeah, like they're getting torn apart off screen.
but you know that there's
Like the monster is eating that person off
Yeah.
screen. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you kind of see his helmet getting torn off, but no, his head is about to be torn off as well. About 3 seconds later, once the
Right.
camera turns.
I watched the first season of that and then part of the second season,
Uh-huh.
and then I, like most things, get distracted by something else.
Yes,
But I seem to remember it gets better the farther on it goes.
as most shows do.
Yes.
There's also a weird viewing order that you have to do them in. Like to watch it chronologically, it jumps around all over the place.
That's what I remember you saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, because even, and I think TV shows do this a lot when they release, because I remember that was a thing with, what's the one that Fox canceled everybody loved so much and then got made into Serenity? I'm drawing a blank on the actual show.
Firefly?
Firefly, they aired them all out of order, and it
Mhm.
didn't make any goddamn sense, because executives are stupid.
like on StarWars.com,
They're
there is
still in a weird order.
there is a chronological order that they have listed out. Like the first episode you should watch is season 2, episode 16. That is the earliest chronological episode.
Well,
That's so weird.
I think it's just they do like flashbacks to certain things, and
It has a lot to do with the movie came out like years before the TV show started,
Yes.
and there was a couple episodes that had to deal with that planet, and they throw those in the like middle of season 1 and 2,
Mhm.
and like how they got there basically.
Yeah. So it's season 2, episode 16, season 1, episode 16, the movie,
Mhm.
the first episode of season 3, and the third episode of season 3, and then the first episode of season 1 is on here. But other than that, it's not too far out of whack.
No, then you go season 1 all the way to 21, and then like season 2, 1, 2, 3, 17, 18, 19, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, it gets hairy around episode 44 through 51. It starts jumping between season 2,
Yeah.
1, and 3.
Yeah, that's really bizarre.
Yes. But it all makes sense otherwise, like because some they go to Mandalore, and
Mhm.
the characters from Mandalore are in like season 2 and 3, and then now I've sort of watched them all chronologically now,
Right.
where
You have a better idea.
yeah,
So.
they put both of those they're like 3-episode arcs,
Mhm.
and they put both of them closer together to where I'm actually going to remember who the fuck those people are.
Right.
Not sure I believe you.
And then after that, it sort of gets better. But I guess they announced like a season 7. I guess
Yeah.
the show got canceled
Mhm.
when Disney bought them.
Probably, yeah, because
And-
they just wanted to I think the only other TV show they wanted at that time was the Rebels.
Yeah.
one.
Well, that came out that came out later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they wanted a sort of fresh start. of
Yeah.
it but it has the same art style
Yeah, all the same
and some of
computer
the characters too.
graphics. Yes, yeah, it is all the same storyline, and it's all canon too.
Yep.
In the
Yep.
new canon
Mhm.
stuff.
It's some of the very few stuff that actually like made it.
Yes, very much so.
Yep.
Because this was an actual LucasArts
Mhm.
TV show before
Yes.
it got sold off. I'm looking forward to watching more.
Cool.
Zach, what about you?
I've been just playing so much WoW.
I've been not playing World of Warcraft. I've also been not spending money on World of Warcraft.
Mhm.
Actually, no, I did.
Yeah, you
and then,
did.
And then now I can't play. Is what happened.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck.
I need to make sure to cancel that subscription before it renews, and then I just spend $15 to not play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, right. I have I hit level 120.
Cap.
Yep, cap for right now. I've done 2 out of the 3 storylines for Zandalar. I was doing one of them with my friend, but then he decided to just do a different character, so I'm just gonna finish that out at some point. Started doing heroics, did some of the island expeditions and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know, starting to get into the end game things.
Content, world quests, things like that.
Yeah.
I like world quests.
Yeah, it's funny in a sort of annoying ways. Like you feel sort of less powerful.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I know.
It's the arc of all expansions.
Exactly.
I have greens again.
Yeah. Well, not just that, but I feel like even like 18, when I got to 20, mobs felt harder than they did when I was at 18.
I see.
And I haven't done any PvP, but I've heard that for some people, like level 120 people are scared of like 115 people because they still have their legendaries active.
Oh,
so
weird.
Yeah.
Huh.
But as you get farther along, you'll get better gear and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's been a lot of fun.
I never PvP.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I'm liking the troll, the Zandalari trolls.
There's a big pyramid or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is you just jump off of a lot.
I was in the beta,
like all the time.
I was in the alpha, and that was very unfinished area.
Gotcha. No, whole place looks beautiful. There's the Loa, which is like their gods. The Loa of death for them is Boam Samdi. I think that's his name. He replaces the spirit healer on the Zandalar, and he always has snide comments to you
when you die.
Yeah, when you die.
Nice.
He's like, you don't have. It's like didn't look, or what was it for warriors? It's like that armor didn't seem to do much good to you. For Hunter, feign death's not supposed to work like that.
Fair enough.
Where warlocks, it was some longs of it's like, look who forgot to equip a soul stone or something similar to that. But
good old World of Warcraft.
Yes, it's been fun. Now you got to get this. Yeah, the slow grind started a while ago.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll get there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start it soon.
Yeah,
and then everyone can just carry me through it.
So right? Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's. I don't see myself playing an alt anytime too, except for an alliance one.
Yeah.
Just to get, because this one actually has 2 different stories.
Yes.
So
which is the first time in a while.
Yes, it is.
I think.
So
each quest area had its own sides and writing and stuff like that, but this one has like very unique areas.
Yeah, I would say my favorite thing that I've seen so far is in the Freehold dungeon, which is sort of like this pirate base that you have to kill everybody in. One of the guys you fight he's called he's an ogre, and it's something the shark puncher, and he has 2 sharks taped to his hand.
Okay.
Or like he has his hands through the shark. He's punching with the sharks.
Yes.
And then one of his moves is a shark tornado.
Okay.
So
a shark tornado.
Yes.
Very trademark free.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Nothing bad can possibly
nothing bad
come
there.
of that.
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
It's been fun.
I went randomly traveled up to Estes Park Friday night and hiked a little bit Saturday morning, and I was back pretty early. But Friday night, I went to Estes Park Brewing.
Yes.
In Estes Park.
Correct.
And they are terrible.
That's what you'd said.
Yes.
Like real bad.
Yeah. It's very it's a large brewery, but mostly like downstairs is all just, they have t-shirts for all of their beers and like a little tasting area. And then upstairs is like a restaurant and a bar, and the food sucks. Or is mediocre at best, but then all of the beer that I tried was all butter, all diacetyl infected. Like it
Gross.
it was. I had one, sent it back, got a second one, also infected, sent it back, and I was like, I'm done having beer from here. I will take a water, please.
I'm done trying your garbage beers, sir.
Yeah, I was like, you've got butter, and the server had no idea what I was talking about.
Right.
Of course not.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, you've got a diacetyl infection in your lines or in your beer, or your keg's getting empty. It tastes like butter. This is not a honey wheat ale in any way, shape, or form. This is movie popcorn butter that has been turned into a beer.
Which, if that's what you want,
people are making that.
Exactly.
Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
That seems real bad.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, Estes is fine.
They have really good ice cream and saltwater taffy shops up there.
Okay. I didn't go to any of the other breweries. I wish I did.
Right on. For myself, it was a weekend of continuing the never-ending process of unpacking. Was a whole lot more of that. We finally got the dining room kind of squared away. So we were able to play some games there this weekend without boxes of shit everywhere. There's still some boxes of shit, but they're not everywhere anymore. We also tried to look for a dog. We'd been planning this for a while. So Megan had like a 5 or 6 day weekend that just came up naturally in her schedule. Like she's basically off, and like she doesn't go back to work until Thursday night, and she got off. Her last shift was last Thursday night or something like that. So she had a bunch of time off though, and so she was like, "This would be a great time for us to get a dog because I'll have a whole bunch of days off to spend with it and like help get it acclimated to the house and get familiar with it and teach it the rules and yada 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 yada." I was like, "All right, sweet. We'll go Saturday. We'll check them out." And so that was the plan. Was Saturday we were gonna go hit up some local shelters and go find a dog that we clicked with and rescue it. Unbeknownst to us until Friday when somebody pointed it out, Friday was nationwide Clear the Shelters Day.
Saturday was that.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Did I say Friday?
Yes.
We learned about it Friday, that it happened on Saturday, which we should have just immediately gone on Friday.
Yeah.
We had other plans Friday evening, and we didn't think it would be that big of a deal. In fact, at first we were like, oh, sweet, adoption fees are going to be waived. And then we were sitting there talking about it, and I was like, oh, God, it's going to be like crazy busy. Like everybody's going to go try and get a dog. And that's exactly what happened. We were 64th in line at the first shelter we went to, and by the time we got in there was exactly one dog left. And they're like, she's a big, huge sweetheart. She's a full pit. They're like, so you live in the right area. You can actually get her. You don't have any other pets. You don't have any children. Like, you can actually get her. They're like, she's really great with people. She loves people. Like, okay, well, is she with other animals? She's not good with other animals. It's like, we have a lot of friends with dogs. We like to dog sit our friends' dogs. That's not going to work.
Right.
She was also really fat. She was way overweight for a pit bull. And so we felt really bad because clearly no one else was adopting her. But it was not a good fit. We then went to a different shelter in town that was not participating, and even they were packed.
Mm-hmm.
And people were looking at it. Apparently, like that Clear the Shelters event got people to go out to all of the shelters everywhere.
I saw a bunch of pictures of shelters empty of dogs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
The Denver area, 5,000 dogs got adopted on
Jesus.
Saturday. It was also apparently both Saturday and Sunday, and we didn't learn about this until Sunday, an hour before it ended. It was the National Pet Expo at the National Western Center here in town.
Oh, gotcha.
So we could have went to that, and they were having big adoption events there. But we missed out on all of that.
Yeah.
We got to see a few different dogs. There was one that I liked that I would have been willing to adopt, but Megan had no feelings whatsoever towards that dog, and so she kind of ex-nayed that one. One of the dogs she really wanted to go see, she was so excited. Like, she saw him online. I was like, oh, he's so pretty. Like, he's, look at his bio. Like, oh, look at this video of him playing. He looks so cool. Like, let's go see him. We tried 2 different times to see him, and both times, like, he just walked around the edges of the kennel area, like the yard where they let us meet him, and like would not acknowledge our existence whatsoever. Like stone cold shoulder from a dog, and it like broke Megan's heart.
Oh man,
she wanted that dog to love her so much, and it just did not. So
rough.
Yep.
So we were putting it on hold for another couple weeks. Barring something ridiculous like falls into our lap with a dog that we just can't not get. But she's trying to wait for another. She's got another big break in her schedule coming up here in a few weeks, and we're gonna try and go then. Let the shelters replenish a bit, and then
hopefully not with a lot of those dogs that just got adopted.
Which one of the ones that got adopted from that, like we saw it go out, and it was one of the ones I really wanted to see.
Yeah,
it was already back today on the website, so it came back like within 48 hours.
Yeah,
which is too bad.
Yeah,
but so that's the pet update. No dog for at least a few weeks, but otherwise, I've been playing some Fallout. Megan's been playing on the Xbox while I play on the PC right next to her. So we're co-op soloing Fallout, which has been fun.
Sounds a lot like the board game.
Zing.
Zing. But that's been fun, and not a whole lot of board gaming, a little bit here and there, but we can talk about that now. Game night Wednesday, I got to play QE finally, the 3rd edition, the 3rd Kickstarter printing of it. So QE is a investment market management kind of game. Essentially, everybody gets dealt secretly a industry, either cars, planes, trains, or
automobiles.
No, that was cars. I should have said planes, trains, automobiles.
I know, you ruined it.
I did. Planes, trains, automobiles, and then like houses or something. I don't remember what the other one is. And then you get secretly a country, which is just a outline of a flag. So like it's like, oh, this flag could be basically any European country with 3 vertical bars. This one could be almost any European country with 3 horizontal bars, or other non-European countries that meet those flags. It's like this one is probably the US, but it could also maybe be Australia. But then each round, there's going to be 4 different industries that get put up for auction. And so whoever is the lead player, they write their bid down on their tile and set it out face up for everybody to see. Then everybody writes theirs on their tile, puts them in face down. The lead player looks at all the bids and gives it to whoever the highest bidder was. And you do that for 4 industries each over 4 rounds. And so there's 16 industries total available. And they range in points from 1 to 4 points in each of the industries. So like there's 4 cars and they range from 1 to 4. And then they have a mismatch of what flag is on them. But there's one of each flag on those 4 cars. And at the end of the game, you total up and you get points for having monopolies in industry. So if you have 2, 3, or 4 of the same industry, or if you have 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the say of your nation's interests, and then the victory points are actually printed on the tiles. You total all those up, and then after you've totaled up all the victory points and you see who's currently winning, then you total up how much money you spent on everything. You keep track throughout the game how much you spent for each of your bids that you won, and you total all those up, and whoever spent the most money is immediately reduced to 0 points.
Just loses.
Yes.
Well then.
So that's kind of like, because there's no money in this game. Like your nation states are oligarchs behind nation states.
Yeah.
So you just print money. So you can bid whatever you want. And it's really interesting. We played a couple games of it, and in one game, somebody did like the starting bid at like 200. And it was like, oh, well, they just set the market like crazy high for this game. And so then we were all playing with points being like roughly 50 points or $50 per point. Then in the next game, somebody did that for the first one. And the person immediately after that, like everybody passed, or no, I won the bid. Like I bid a little bit over what was put out there. And then the next person to go put something out for like $10 and just crashed the market down. And it was like, and then that's kind of where it stayed. And it was like, I barely wasn't the person who spent the most, but it took a lot of effort. And I ended up coming in 3rd still.
Yeah, that seems like some, like that. I was about to say, did everybody else then immediately go down so that person is just fucked?
Yeah, which I don't know. Like, I want to play it some more to see like how that kind of develops, like how you decide, I guess, what point it's a reasonable bid versus one that everybody's just going to wait, undercut, and start selling things for $1 to $5. I guess probably the driving force there is like if you put out a bid for 10 and I just took one for over 200, everybody knows I'm over 200. So like, oh, well, I can jump your 10 up to 80 and be okay, or even 100 and be okay.
Yeah.
But it's interesting the way the markets play out. So
the board looks cool.
Yeah. It's all laser etched into wood. Well, actually, I think the board itself, I think he actually like hand did with like a CNC drill press.
Yeah.
It's definitely very handmade.
Yes. These are like limited Kickstarter type
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
Mike Jones said it was sold out in 10 minutes.
Sounds about right.
And then he put up like another one, and that was sold out immediately.
Because they timed it. This one, I guess I'd missed out on this entirely, but Edward did a teach, and they timed it exactly with the launch of the Kickstarter. And so it basically drove all of the heavy gamers over to QE to immediately snatch up all of it.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to keep an eye out for it for future ones. I might try and get in on a future printing of it because I think it's interesting. It's weird, and I find that more and more recently I like games that do weird things. Like I feel like I keep playing games that are all use the same mechanics and do the same things and play the same ways, and so I like things that seem weird and different. Recently, so that's what I'm going for.
Zach just biting his fist hard.
But yeah, so. That's what I played. Jeff, what about you? What'd you play?
At game night, I played a new game to me. I hadn't heard of it at all, called Dragon Castle.
Well, it just got released within the last couple months.
Gotcha.
So it is new to a lot of people.
Yeah,
not just you.
I had not heard of it before it was even released.
Gotcha.
In the last couple months or whatever.
Yeah, it was at Gen Con.
I see. 2017 release. Either way, I think. That's what BGG says. So it's a Mahjong tile game, but you're not just playing Mahjong. You set it up similarly, and then you pick the tiles off similarly, but then you are building another tableau of tiles on your own personal board, and you're trying to match colors And then when you match colors, you get to flip those colors over, and then you can put a shrine on them for points, but then you can't stack on there. And you want higher stacks with higher shrines, and then you will get more points. And once you have the most points and the game ends, then you win. It's the tiles are solid mahjong tile. You could probably just play mahjong with this.
Yeah.
I don't think I had played mahjong besides like Windows 95 or maybe 98 whenever they had that in there. This definitely throws a really cool, like, I'm playing on my own board, so I'm trying to get pieces and get pieces that will deny you pieces, because you can draw 2 if you have a matching pair. You can draw 1 off the top as long as an edge is showing, which is just like mahjong.
Yeah.
And then if there is a matching tile that you can get below on any of the layers below, then you can get 2. Otherwise, you can always just choose 1.
Gotcha.
But then you're trying not to choose the one that will give someone else like a pair. And then there's a couple other actions you have where you can just like take 1 or take 2, get 2, take 1, get 1 and a shrine, because you have like a pool of shrines that you keep off to the side that if you complete something and you don't have enough shrines, you can't put any shrines on there. And then the game end is once you hit like the bottom layer, you can start taking like, there's nothing I really want to take. I'm going to just take 2 victory points. And then there's 3 of those. Once those are gone, the game's over.
Okay.
Yeah, fun little tile placement efficiency game. What do I want? More shrines? Do I want to take 2 and trying to deny other people from getting what they want? It comes with multiple different layouts of the mahjong tiles. There's like the classic like 3 stack, but then there's other shapes and variety of other things you can play with as well, which I thought was cool.
Okay.
Yeah, great components, fantastic components.
Yeah, they look nice.
That's
CMON for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't mention it's a CMON game. No minis besides the shrines in sight, but the mahjong tiles are quite nice. So yeah, that was a fun. I was like, I have no idea what this is, and then Bob was like, "Do you want to play this?" And I was like, "Yes, I will play this." It was quick enough, like 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, it seemed about that.
Yeah, maybe a little more of that with like Teach and me just trying to remember how to play mahjong.
Gotcha.
We played with 4 players.
Yes, you did.
And it goes 2 to 4.
Correct.
It was a nice lighter game. It's good. And then as the Intrepid Sojourner's patio was dimming in light, it got slightly harder to play.
Shocking. Because they don't have lights out there for whatever reason.
Yeah, I was really surprised by that. Because I could have sworn they did the last time. Maybe somebody just forgot to turn them on. And if anybody had asked.
No, they asked. And
did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have some Christmas lights on the railing.
Maybe it was just last year, like last time we were there so early in the year that it was lighter so much longer.
Yeah, that's what I would guess.
Yeah.
We're well past that summer solstice now. Days are getting shorter.
Mm-hmm. Minute by minute.
Until winter ends.
For snow this weekend.
Yeah, I heard Abe got
a little snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was cold last night. Oh man, snowboard season is so close. Ant's been getting the condo crew together.
Yep.
Oh man, it's almost time.
Almost here. Opening day is probably going to be in October.
Maybe we'll be a seasonal podcast. We'll just take the winter off.
We'll just take all our shit up there. Zach, come up to the condo. We got to record. Skype in.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
No, we'll Skype in. Zach will just be here in the studio by himself.
And
100%
no. We'll both be on Skype.
I will be literally doing anything else.
Skyping from home.
Well, all 3 be on Skype.
To be fair.
We can have Megan here just running the board. Connected us all. Super spiteful there.
To be fair, we would have to be recording on Monday, and I would be back from snowboarding by Monday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Unless we're trapped.
Well, man, if we get enough snow to get trapped, I'd be so excited.
So excited. Sorry, boss. I'm trapped in the mountains. I guess I'm going to go snowboarding today. And what's cool is Greg would probably be like, yep, that's fine.
Yeah, right.
It's like, yeah, you're trapped up there. Enjoy snowboarding. I don't know. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Like, nothing.
Yeah.
He's definitely, that's nice. That's the nice part about Greg.
He's a pretty laid back boss.
Yeah. He's just like, well, that's that's what you have to do. I guess you have to snowboard all day instead of work.
Unlike my other boss, Jeff. That guy's a real hard ass.
Yeah. That's me.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, Zach, what about you? What did you play? I almost forgot about you.
That's fine. I played Mint Delivery.
Which has
how was that?
It has a very nice mat that you can buy for it.
Yes, which completely defeats the purpose of it being small.
Of it fitting in a mint tin.
Yeah, just like any of the tiny epic games, they have giant mats.
Yes.
But it was all right.
All right.
I mean, just in the same way that Mintworks was all right.
Okay.
It's taken a delivery game and it makes it small and bite sized. Took like 15-20 minutes.
Okay.
There weren't as I don't want to say there weren't as many decisions to make as they were in Mintworks, but it's more of and on your turn in Mintworks you're making a decision, but for this it's like you're choosing where you want to go, but you only get 2 actions on your turn. So it's like I need to go across the board. That's 6 movement. So my 3 turns are going to be move, and then next one it'll be move, and then one after that will be move, and then you get to do whatever it is. So that's delivery games for you.
Yeah.
And then I also played on Saturday night at midnight. I convinced Andrew and Jeff to play an exit game. Because he had not played one before. Andrew, he'd only played the unlock one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which I have. You gave it to me.
So we decided to play like the hardest one.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I grabbed it. I knew it was a harder one because I was like, I don't want to get one that's too easy. And I ended up grabbing the hardest one out of all 8 that have come out.
Way to go.
Yeah. It ended up taking us an hour and 42 minutes.
Ouch.
So it was near 2 a.m. by the time we finished.
Yeah. We ended up using 3 help cards. So we got 5 stars. But really, I told Andrew, if it makes you feel better, I'm sure you can deduct 15 minutes for us just being tired.
Yeah.
Because our first big break in terms of progression was like 30 minutes in. So...
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It did the most non-spoilery thing I think we came up with able to talk about it was it did things in those games that had not been done before.
Yeah.
Which is impressive.
It's continuing the trend of coming up with new things to do.
Yeah.
Which I think is always a double-edged sword for us because like knowing what they've done, we try to look for those things and then it becomes a time like you end up wasting time looking for those things that they're like, oh, it's not in this one, and you're like, God damn it. And then I would say that it wasn't as intuitive in terms of what clues were for what thing, like what keys basically.
And in this one, there was also like a branching puzzle. Like there was not everyone's gonna get the same puzzle, I guess, depending on which path you choose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There's 2 options.
Yes, which is the first time I'd seen it.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, the first time I'd seen that happen before. Because if you choose one option, you can't do the other, and if you choose the other, you can't do the first.
But overall, I enjoyed it.
Yes, it was still an enjoyable game.
Yeah, and
we were all yawning constantly.
Oh, yeah. Yes. But once we like, I really feel like it took us like an hour and 20 minutes. It was just that first 25 minutes was just.
It's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, especially because Andrew had never played one before, so he didn't really know.
But Andrew has also done a lot of crazy puzzle things before, like scavenger hunt stuff.
Oh, and escape rooms, like in general, he's done. But I just meant like this one, so he didn't know what to look for.
But some of the puzzles, he was just like, boom, boom, boom. Like, what are you doing? He's like, whatever, I know how to do this.
Yes. So, but he's definitely up to play more. And so I'll find the easiest one just to be like, here's the wild swing and difficulty it can be. But I had a copy of Forsaken Island or whatever it was called.
I don't think I've played that one.
No, you haven't. Okay. But I played Paul's copy.
We did play that. Or not Forbidden Island, Forbidden Sky. I forgot all about playing Forbidden Sky at Paul's.
Oh yes.
I guess we're done talking about Exit now.
Yeah.
No, I'm just we can keep talking about.
Well, no, there's
no,
nothing left to talk about Exit.
Okay.
I can't talk about it anymore, apparently. All right, Adrian, go ahead with your Forbidden Sky.
So I totally forgot. After we played a game of Founders, we were sitting around chit-chatting, and I'd asked to see Forbidden Sky because I had heard about it and wanted to take a look at it.
And you weren't at Gen Con?
I was not at Gen Con.
You played with us at Gen Con, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Also another very late night.
Yeah. And we had it out, and Paul was like, hey, let's play, and he was going on about his most recent 2-player game with Andrew the Hater, where they were one action short of winning, not even one turn, just one action short.
Yeah, and Jeff and I, when we played with Paul and with Ant, Ant just left.
Yeah,
we got destroyed by the game.
Yeah, so Paul was like, "All right, I need redemption. Third time's a charm. Let's play." And I was like, "All right, Megan, you down?" She's, "Yeah, sure, we'll play. So we set it up. They ran through the rules real quick. A lot of it is very similar to Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, if you've played those mechanically. And so we started playing, and the deck just kept being like the perfect draws for us. Like we made it almost all the way through the deck the first time with almost nobody getting electrocuted, nobody getting blown off edges, and almost no storm rises. And then we got the first storm rise we got was the shuffle the deck. And then I think the 4 storm rising cards must have been shuffled into the bottom 6 cards of the deck on the second shuffle.
Yeah, we only went up to 2 cards near the end of the game, Jeff.
Most of the game we were drawing 1 card each.
Yeah. And technically, I was the knotsmith. Paul was the medic. So realistically, we ended the game with everybody at full health.
Jeez. I did see a picture of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Paul was proud of
so
his...
amazed at how we had done that he took a picture to send it to Kaiser and be like, "Yo, this is what happened."
Yeah, I think it was a combination of the fact that, you and Megan have played the Forbidden Ones a lot.
Yes.
We had known we understood the mechanics of the game
and
to know not to immediately electrify everything.
Yes,
which Megan kind of wanted to do a little bit because she was the person who could connect them for free, and so had to keep being like, "No, Megan, if you connect not those ones.
No,
you connect these and it doesn't affect anything. But if you connect those, it electrifies fucking everything."
Yeah, the wires that are on the printed tiles can be brutal.
Yeah,
I think we had it to where like no matter what got hit, it would like every tile was getting shocked on that first game.
Yeah.
I think something that also helped is that we originally were going to put the launch pad like up north, basically, but then we realized we could put it down south in a spot where it wouldn't get electrified, and so we just abandoned that top one and then just created it on the bottom.
Made a second launch pad.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we got really lucky, I think, overall with card draws and tile draws.
Yes.
We were drawing the right tiles,
except for Paul.
Literally,
the first 3 things he grabbed were all the
charger station,
the
lightning rod,
lightning
whatever.
rods. He had 3 lightning rods in his hand, and that was it.
Rough.
Yeah, real bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I liked it. I thought it was a really interesting take on that kind of same system. It felt different but familiar in a really interesting way, and I'd like to play it more. And I really liked that they, when I knew it was electricity and like you had to connect things, and for some reason I was expecting it more like circuit. Like I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't quite what they did with the way it's kind of an abstract puzzle of how to connect everything. But I really liked it. I thought it was really clever. And I thought it was a good way to implement.
And it's nice that you have a physical manifestation of you completing the game.
Yes, you put that last one down and the rocket lights up and makes blast off sounds. So I dig it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what you'll think about it when it just doesn't work. Like when we were playing, and because like you said, we just got really lucky. Curious what you'll feel if the unlucky, because it's unlike Forbidden Island Forbidden Desert. Where it's sort of covering things. It's moving you around, and you're like, I can see you starting to, but knowing that it's gonna blow you, and like because it tells you which way it's gonna blow you.
Yeah, you've got a
be able to
idea
plan
how you're
for
gonna get blown.
Yeah,
which is always nice.
Yes,
you want to know how you're gonna get blown.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you don't want to get that. You don't want that happening by surprise. It'll just
or going in a different direction than you're expecting.
Nope. Never.
Right on. But I do want to play more, so hopefully we'll see. I'm sure I've definitely gotten raffle stomped in Forbidden Desert before.
Oh yeah, same here.
And I still like that as a light, accessible, fun, cooperative puzzle game. So right on. I think that kind of wraps up everything we've been playing. Jeff, is there Bloody Minute? I know the season is rapidly approaching.
Preseason is hot and heavy. There was at least 2 games at the Intrepid Sojourner. It was Paul and Matt, and then Ant and a gentleman I had not met before doing their preseason games. I haven't done any of my preseason games yet. Hopefully I will be, well, it's mostly like building my team that I need to be doing instead of literally anything else.
Yeah.
I should be building my team. I should bring it here, and then I can be modeling while recording. While Adrian's talking about inane heavy game bullshit, I can be building skanks or something.
I haven't had a chance to talk about inane heavy game bullshit in quite some time.
I know.
And it's driving me nuts.
Maybe later this week, you will finally be able to talk about a heavy game.
Maybe.
Probably
not.
Its weight is over 4.0 right now.
We'll see.
But I'll be having David and I will be playing with our new teams. I believe this Thursday. Lizards on whatever the fuck David is playing. Dark Elves. Is he starting Dark? It's starting Dark Elves.
So, yeah.
Yes, Dark Elves on Lizards. He'll have more experience against Lizard Men because he played them constantly at Blood Bowl or at the Blood Bowl tournament at Gen Con. More experience than I have playing Dark Elves, except for that playoff game. That bullshit playoff game. So no, not yet. Next week, for sure.
Okay. Well, then I think that brings us to the news and Kickstarter segment of...
Indeed it does. First up in news this week, Gale Force 9, the legendary makes weird plastic parts for tabletop wargaming, but not anymore. That's how I know them, is partnering with Legendary Entertainment and Herbert Properties LLC to bring back Dune, the board game. Dune a board game, Dune the board game. There was a classic Dune war game, right?
Yes. There was a there's a Dune game that came out in the 80s, I want to say.
79.
79. Is that the one that Rex basically...
Yes, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
That Rex rethemed.
Yep.
Yeah, which apparently at some point Fantasy Flight tried to get the rights to Dune and could not. And so that's why they
made Rex instead.
did Rex, which is set in the Twilight Imperium universe rather than the Dune universe. But it's interesting. They mention here in the press release that the agreement calls for Gale Force 9 to produce original tabletop games, plural, set in the Dune universe. Yeah. So there should be many Dune games probably coming.
I think this is specifically stating that it's not going to be that old Dune game. That's how I view that. It has to be original ones.
Well, that's certainly how W. Eric Martin over at BGG read it. Too.
Oh, okay.
Like he even said down there, I've already seen comments from some asking whether this deal might lead to republication of the original 1979 Dune board game. But in response to those questions, I would highlight this phrase from the press release. The agreement calls for Gale Force 9 to produce original tabletop games. So we'll see.
Indeed.
The full range of games, including board and miniature games, are slated to hit the market just prior to the release of the new Dune movie in 2020.
Yep.
So
years away.
Yep.
But if you like Dune, I wonder if Sting's going to be in it.
Probably not.
Or who else is in that movie?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart. He's reprising his role of
I was very excited
of Picard. So why can't he do it of whatever his name was in Dune?
That's probably more likely
Dune guy.
Than,
Dune guy, yes.
Yeah.
Not Doom guy.
No, that's a different guy.
That's very different.
Next up on news.
Agricola, Farmers of the Moor, is getting more details.
It's coming back.
It's coming back.
It's officially coming back.
Didn't we know it was already coming back?
Yes, but I mean, it's going to come back at some point.
Okay, now it's
back.
Now
it's coming back.
All right.
It's back.
Oh, is it
has been
released?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually saw it at Black and Red this weekend, and I almost bought it. But yes, so Lookout Games has now finally brought it here to the States and gotten it back out in our hands again. Yes, because it
2007. That's like.
Well, that's when Agricola was released.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When was the expansion?
12? I want to say.
I can't remember when it was when Farmers on the Moor was originally, but
that's like
Agricola has since been reprinted and revised, but they just kind of didn't do shit with Farmers of the Moor. So even if you got Farmers of the Moor, it didn't necessarily the art style and some of the graphic design didn't match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now it does.
It came out. It came out in 2009.
Okay.
So,
and that's like a century in board game years.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
It works a lot like dog years.
Yeah. Well, it's
correct.
It's just decades or centuries.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
The new re-release of it includes a bunch of expansions and things. Or no, never mind. I'm thinking of. I also saw the All Creatures Big and Small at Black and Red.
Yeah.
Which includes the 2 expansions.
Yeah. That's the big box of that. And then this one will also have enough pieces. If you have the 5 and 6 player expansion, that you don't have to get a 5 and 6 player expansion for this expansion.
Yes.
Hooray.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Catan.
Well, no. So this one you have to have Agricola. You have to get the 5 and 6 player expansion.
Yeah.
And then now you just get this, and it has everything.
Yes.
That's what I'm. But
Catan is like now I need the 5 and 6 player expansion for Knights and whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
And yes, they do. They do that.
Yes, they do.
They do.
It's your favorite expansion to expansions.
Correct.
Next up on news.
There is an expansion coming out for that crazy expensive Catan Game of Thrones game, and this one is called Brotherhood of the Watch.
Yeah, so this one is breaking with the Catan tradition, and not only is it adding 5 and 6 players, but it's also adding new gameplay stuff. Essentially, players are going to step into the role of Brothers of the Night's Watch, tasked with recruiting guards for the wall and developing the gift. You're just like in the base Game of Thrones Catan, you're building roads, settlements, keeps all along in the gift, which in Game of Thrones lore is a bunch of land south of the wall that the Night's Watch gets to use because nobody else wants to be up there that far north.
That's where they grow their food and all that.
Yeah, it was gifted by the North.
Yes.
Yeah, one of the kings of the
Yes.
North. This adds a special build phase, as all of the 5 and 6 player expansions do. There are 4 new hero cards that have been added to the hero display, including now Jon Snow, who can protect you from the robber, who is Tormund Giantsbane. There's also Asha, Gilly, and Aemon Targaryen as the remaining new heroes. And there are now mammoths that assist the 2 new wildling clans that are kind of a new mechanic in this one that will regularly attack. Similar, I think, to Cities and Knights. They have like the raiders that they move along a track, and then when they get close enough, they attack whoever has the least knights in Cities and Knights.
I'm gonna assume that none of the heroes are Brienne of Tarth, because then the robber would just follow whoever that hero is wherever they go.
Correct. Yeah, that's really all the information on it. There's not a whole lot.
No price on it. I've seen that Game of Thrones Catan, and it's like $80.
It has a lot more pieces in it than it's not just Catan with a Game of Thrones theme.
No.
And regular Catan is still like regularly a $50 game.
Yeah.
It's little.
But still, Game of Thrones Catan, $80?
I mean, I don't care enough about Catan to...
Correct. I would not pay look at $80 price tag to be able to buy that. There are much other things that I would enjoy for $80. Maybe some new RAM.
Yeah, a fourth of a video card, too.
A fourth of a video card.
Yeah. Right on. Next up on news,
there is a little sprinkling of information about the Spirit Island Kickstarter launching this October.
Hopefully this October. Still, from anything I saw, not wholly confirmed when it's actually launching. They originally had planned to announce it and have the Kickstarter run during Gen Con.
Yep.
With a delivery window. They are planning a from Kickstarter completion to fulfillment time period of 18 months. So even if it released at Gen Con, we still wouldn't have seen it for a year and a half.
Just the expansion?
Yes.
Wow.
And the reasons for that are outlined as our Eric Rees goes into some information about what's coming out. There are going to be a full 8 new spirits included in this game.
Mm-hmm.
He addressed some concerns where people were like, is it going to require the previous expansion, Branch and Claw? If so, like some people are nervous, like, oh, well, I can't play this new expansion if I don't have Branch and Claw. But if not, then people with Branch and Claw are like, oh, well, does that mean they're just doing nothing with these mechanics from this expansion and it was kind of worthless? And he comes in and says essentially no. At least one of the new spirits will be base game only. One of the new spirits will be Branch and Claw
only
powers and things. Okay. And one of them will definitely be new expansion stuff. And then the other 5 will be some mix of those others.
Okay.
They are also in this expansion going to include, as an addendum to the rulebook, the rules for Branch and Claw, as well as all of the tokens for like the thorns and vines and poison and animals,
predators, etc.
So at that point, the only thing you won't actually have from Branch and Claw is like the event deck and the 2 spirits in Branch and Claw. So it definitely does relegate Branch and Claw to a maybe not super necessary expansion. But he said that they've put a lot of work into the mechanics and components from Branch and Claw that they want to keep using that stuff.
Gotcha.
That he says this was already incredibly unlikely. The tokens from Branch and Claw form part of a mechanical palette from which effects can be painted. Only using that palette for 2 spirits ever would have made me really sad / been a bit of a waste. So, Yeah, so it's going to be kind of a big mix of stuff. It will also include material for 5 to 6 players, which, woo! 4-player Spirit Island can already drag substantially. So unless it
can.
Unless the materials for 5 to 6 players include some substantial rule updating or varianting to help the pace of the game with that many players.
Say maybe a day and night phase.
Yeah, something. Other than that, they're not announcing anything else that's in the expansion. They are hoping to have it out around Gen Con, but that is still currently seen as tentative. More information to come.
I'm sure there will be a pledge for the base game and everything else. So if you're missing, I guess Spirit Island's much easier to find now, but if you want all of it, I'm sure there's going to be a $150 pledge level for you.
Yeah.
To get the game. Hopefully fulfills the game and stuff first, and then the expansion whenever it comes out.
Probably not, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, it saves on distribution and shipping and stuff to just bundle it all into one.
Yeah.
I think only ridiculous stuff that's going to take decades, like Kingdom Death, ship it out in chunks.
Depends on their stock, I guess.
I really hope that they have Branch and Claw as an add-on, and I really hope they have that sweet thematic neoprene map.
Oh, yeah.
That's the map of the whole island divided into 6 regions.
Isn't that one only for 5-player, 6-player? It was a higher player for the playmat, right?
If you use all the spaces, but you can easily just be like, these regions aren't being used for playing in these 2 for a 2-player game, or these 3 for a 3-player.
Gotcha.
But
that was like max player level thematic map or something?
Yes. But I really want it because it's a sweet looking map, and I want a full neoprene map of that island.
Yes.
So that's what I hope is in the Kickstarter.
I'm sure it will be. We'll find out in October.
Indeed, we will.
Last up on news, Popular Mechanics has released an article of the 50 best new board games.
Yeah. So this is an update because they think they had that list going, and then they recently updated with some games from 2018.
Okay.
So it's not like this is a brand new list.
No. Nor is it in order.
No. Just the 50 best new. So it's just a group of 50 games that's in alphabetical, I'm guessing. Not even that?
No, it's sort of all over the place. It's hard to tell how they have organized these, except, I don't know, shuffle.
Well, and it's interesting because like the actual web link is 15 best new games of the year, but then the article itself is just titled the 50 best new board games, not 15. So, yeah.
What?
Yeah, like the article, like my link says Popular Mechanics, Culture, Gaming /15 best new board games of the year.
Oh, the link itself.
The link itself says 15, and then the article says 50.
And it's not of the year. So yeah, I think it's just using. I'm assuming.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got stuff like Spirit Island, Rising Sun, Sagrada, Secret Hitler. So they're reaching back for something. Quantum, which isn't particularly that new, I don't think. Yeah, technically Quantum debuted in late 2013.
I mean, I feel like it's just like I would definitely say like overall, like in terms of popular culture, games in the last 5 years, for in gaming itself, a 5-year-old game is not a new game. But I think it's what? I
mean, I see what you're saying, but I mean, Sheriff of Nottingham is on here.
Like I said, it's an
these are definitely more
and it's an update. It's not,
modern enthusiast board game lists. You're not seeing anything that's like classics on here at all.
Yes.
I mean, Terraform Mars is on here. One of the top 5 best games ever made.
That's true. But it's not like, I wouldn't call it a classic. Like, it's not just your general list of Carcassonne and Catan and Ticket to Ride. It's like Ethnos and Star Wars Rebellion and Scythe and Clans of Caledonia. Newer stuff.
I mean, Stronghold 2nd Edition is like 7 years old.
That's pretty much the only game I have never heard of on this list.
Really?
Yeah.
That one's kind of funny. That used to be a Portals game. They used to belong to Portal. And then when Stephen Monacore started Stronghold, he was like, I have to get the rights to Stronghold.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he did.
And he did. Apparently, they compare it in this article to Star Wars Rebellion.
Something similar to that, yeah.
Okay.
But, yeah. You can go see what Popular Mechanics thinks are 50 of the best new-ish games.
Yeah.
So far, I haven't seen any of them. Oh, never mind. Right as I was about to say, I haven't seen any where I'm like, no, that's definitely not. I come across New York Slice.
So that's it for news.
Indeed.
And now we go on to Kickstarters, which begins with Power Rangers, Heroes of the Grid. Quite well funded, $242,000 of its $100,000 goal, over 1,200 backers, about 2 weeks left to go. And its most popular pledge level is $240 for the all-in pledge. This is definitely your $100+ miniature Kickstarter of the week.
Yeah.
By far.
I mean, especially if you want any stretch goals or anything like that.
Yes.
Technically, you can get under that with just the base game, and that's it. But who does that for a Kickstarter?
No, because the other many hundreds of people are definitely going all in.
Yeah, that's just 46 people compared to the 844 for the all-in.
And you know those 46 people are feeling real shitty. Either that or they're saving right now so that right before it ends, they can bump up to the big level.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is a cooperative game for 2 to 5 players, and it is designed by Jonathan Ying, one of the designers who worked on Imperial Assault, Warhammer 40k Forbidden Stars, and was the lead designer of the Dune board game. So he's got some design chops. And on this one, it's definitely a miniatures game, but each character comes with their own deck that kind of represents their skills and fighting style. It's like the Red Ranger is super karate, the Yellow Ranger uses the saber tooth a whole lot, and the Blue Ranger is really into tactics, because that is it. When I think of, Power Rangers, I think of the Blue Ranger's tactics.
Should also mention that this is old-ass original Power Rangers.
Yep.
Through, like, Rita and Zed.
I don't see, what was his name, Goldar?
Goldar. Yeah,
Goldar's in
here.
one of the stretch goal areas or
like,
add-ons or something.
He's like 500.
Goldar.
He's like 500K.
But essentially,
there he is. Good. I just had to make sure. I was like,
needed Goldar.
He needed to be in there.
Each game, there's going to be 4 different combat zones that are going to be being targeted in the base game by Rita Repulsa. You think with some of the add-ons and stretch goals and things, you can sub in whatever other major villain. But enemy forces are going to deploy onto those zones and start causing chaos. And the Rangers manage their actions and coordinate defenses, moving from locations to locations to counter where the threat is the greatest, and ultimately try to prepare to face whatever mastermind is behind it. Each Ranger and each enemy in the location participate in combat. Enemy cards represent their actions and their health, so you attack the individual cards that disrupt their actions and their attacks. And each card represents a figure there, so there might be like 7 cards, and there'd be 7 figures. And as you defeat cards, you're removing figures, whittling down their forces. And then there's monsters and stuff that have special attacks and do crazy shit. And the entire deck of the Power Ranger character represents their health. So each card you play and each blow that you take slowly whittles that deck down. But there's ways to rest and power up at the command center and get fresh. So, you can also start to unlock Zord cards and get the Megazord. I forgot that it was called a Megazord. That is a stupid fucking name.
How did you forget that it was called a Megazord?
Because I hated Power Rangers as a kid. I thought Power Rangers was one of the dumbest things on television.
Jeez.
I'm not going to say I still feel that way, but I do.
I have like all of the Power Rangers toys. Like all of them.
When I was in Hawaii, it was during Halloween, and I was the Red Ranger.
Nice.
Yeah. So all that negativity that you're bringing, Adrian, it's not welcome in this podcast. This is a positive podcast about Power Rangers.
Positive Power Ranger podcast.
Yes, exactly.
Power Ranger Save Zone.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Good old PRSZ.
I like how they've got a subject to licensor approval on some of these cards.
Yeah.
So I think they're still working on getting
it's probably art
and
approval,
graphic design approved from whoever owns
not like
the rights
that,
to Power Rangers.
Yeah, it's not. It's I'm pretty
Dr.
sure.
Horrible.
Yeah, the Dr. Horrible one where
or
they're
just
like,
we just didn't get permission. Yeah. It's easier to ask forgiveness rather than permission.
Mm-hmm.
Is not something that applies in copyright law.
Yeah, not in business.
No. Next up in Kickstarter is Unstable Unicorns, Control and Chaos, the Backer Corn Project. I just wanted to say the full title. Extremely well funded, $700,000 of its $50,000 goal, 7,500 backers, 3 weeks left to go, with the majority of pledges landing at $49 for both the Control and Chaos base games.
Yeah, so these are basically standalone expansion / different decks for the older game from last year that was Unstable Unicorns.
Mm-hmm. Which runs $20 by itself off their website.
Yeah.
There is not actually a pledge to get the base game in this as far as we could find.
No, I didn't see it.
That wasn't in some sold out $500 pledge level or something.
Right. They did also, there was somewhere I saw they had the breakdown. There's like 30 unique cards in each deck, and then the rest of the 120 some cards are common between the two decks. So they're very similar decks. For the most part, with the exception of those handful of unique cards. Yeah, it sounds very Munchkin-esque.
Very popular, no less.
I saw some people...
Unicorns are weirdly popular in these times.
These times.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say recently, but I feel like unicorns have been strangely popular for like a decade now.
Yeah. Don't you remember Lisa Frank?
So, yeah, I don't actually even know what Lisa Frank is.
What's Lisa Frank?
Zach, what's Lisa Frank?
Oh, it was that... Like, in the 90s, it was like Trapper Keeper, sort of like in that thing, it was like Lisa Frank was like a style.
Oh.
That was, I feel like horses and unicorns played a big part in it.
I vaguely recall that, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I remember having eyeball seizures to all of this.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do yourself a favor. Google Lisa Frank folders. You'll soon understand. Only 90s kids understand.
Only 90s kids.
Jeez. This is not that bright, thankfully. This is Control and Chaos.
Yes. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of unicorns.
Yep.
Yeah, that's Unstable Unicorns.
Yeah.
Go
the
check it out, I guess.
The game's just like making an army. You want 7 unicorns and you win. That's sort of what it is.
But they definitely mentioned like don't jump out to a big lead because everybody will team up on you, which that's where I was like, it seems like Munchkin.
Yeah.
I just want to say I found an article that I just find hilarious. It's science discovers that unicorns looked nothing like Lisa Frank. Were actually nightmare beasts from hell.
Dreadsteeds? That's from World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes. Sick reference, bro.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I don't think I've ever played any World of Warcraft.
In Hearthstone, it was a 1/1 that would resummon itself every time it died at the end of your turn.
Nice.
It was nice.
Was nice? Did they take it out?
It's they cycle through cards, different seasons.
Like Magic.
Yeah, just like Magic. It's no longer in. It's in Wild, but you can't play it in Standard.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Next up on Kickstarter is EndoGenesis. Very well funded, $55,000 of its $4,000 goal. Over 1,000 backers and 2 weeks left to go, and you can pledge this one for $43.
So this is a competitive strategic game for 1 to 5 players where you are trying to become gods by beating the crap out of each other and out of monsters using deck building. It's not
okay. All right.
super clear how much deck building there is that goes on.
Okay.
But essentially at the start of the game, everybody gets some skills from the Realm of Knowledge, which is the skill deck. And you get a handful of shards that you can then use to upgrade your different slots. So essentially you have 4 available slots where you can put skills, and then each slot has 4 spaces to put shards that basically power up whatever skill is in that slot. Or you can discard skills to, or you can discard shards to increase your max health. And they call that the customization phase, where you're kind of like getting your skills aligned and which ones you're going to power up and what health you're going to have. And then you start playing. And so you flip cards from the Chaos deck until there's a monster, and then each player takes their turns going clockwise around the table. Then the monster will take its turn, and that's the end of one round. And then you start another round and you play until somebody wins. Each turn you're going to draw a couple cards, and then you're going to take actions. You can they don't say exactly how many, they just say you can perform a number of actions. So I don't know if that means it's a variable number or if they're just not specifying.
The only limit is your imagination.
That
Adrian.
is entirely possible. You can use active skills to attack enemies. Skills use energy, which you get by discarding unwanted skill cards, or by using artifacts, which are another thing that are in this game. You can also swap out your skills, equip new ones, things like that. And you get to do that all in any order, and then play moves the next player. During opponent's turns, you can use reaction skills to defend yourself. The one they show in their little GIF thing is like a reflect spell that when they use it against you, you just bat it back at them and does damage to them.
Hopefully, literally.
Yes. If you slay players and monsters, you get more of those shards that let you power up your abilities. And then every so often, legendary monsters come up, and they are apparently super powerful and reward you with a prism when they are slain. And if you get 3 prisms, you win the game. So,
also available on Tabletopia.
Yeah, so you can go try it out.
Nice.
But yeah, they got a couple different mechanics. Like if you get all 4 of your skill slots filled with like the same type of skill, you can unlock a more powerful version of it or level up in it. But then you're locked into only ever using skills of that type. Otherwise, you can mix and match a bunch of types to try and get unique chains and combos going. And I don't know. It's got a really interesting art style that I kind of dig.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to describe it, but I like it. Although you could definitely see that there's some stuff that I feel like is not done yet. Like some of their cards have like just placeholders for the actual monsters that I feel like art is going to go there.
Yeah.
It's like a cutout or something. At least I hope art's going to go there. If they just come out like that, that's a little jarring.
Unfinished assets.
Yeah.
As is the Kickstarter tradition.
Yep.
Yeah. That's EndoGenesis.
Next up on Kickstarter is Firenze, right?
Just Friends.
Firenze. Firenze and its other games that are also on this Kickstarter are very well funded. 33,000 of its $11,000 goal, 400 backers, about 2 weeks left to go. You can pledge for Firenze for 47 American dollar dues, or you can get all 3 on here for 113.
Yeah, so this is a master print collection from Quind Games, featuring Friends, Raiatea?
Raiatea.
Yeah, and Counterfeiters, which is their first in their small box of the master print series. But these are basically deluxe editions of some of Quind Games' earlier games that they felt deserved these kind of master print editions.
They look nice.
So, so I misunderstood. So they've been doing the master print collection for a while, since 2006. And some of them have been reprints, some of them have been original. This one, Firenze, is a reprint with the master print treatment. Both the Raiatea and Counterfeiters are new games.
Aha.
So they are brand new.
Counterfeiters sounds interesting, but that's just, it deals with money in a illegal fashion. So
right up your alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one where you're counterfeiting money and then trying to trade it for real money through different means, and the cops can start coming after you, and you have to go to the Godfather to get protection, and then whoever at the end of the game ends up having the most real money ends up winning that one. The other one, the R one, I wish I knew how to say that word. Raiatea. Sounds kind of interesting too. You're part of a Polynesian secret religious society trying to build big old statues out there in the Polynesians. It's got a really cool art style. I kind of like it. My first experience with Quind Games was the second edition of Vanuatu that Tom brought to Geekway, and then Zach got me for a housewarming gift. And I definitely can see some similarities to their art styles between that and the Raiatea. So yeah, if any of those 3 sound interesting, if you want a new print of Firenze, or you want to go look into building statues in the Polynesian Islands or counterfeiting money, go check that out.
Give it a shot. And that's it for Kickstarters.
Indeed it is. Moving on from that, it's time for listener feedback, in which Jeff has emails to read. Not 416 of them, but
just a couple. Few.
Just a few.
Where'd 416 come from?
A Twitter thread.
Yeah.
Where basically somebody was like, my least favorite part of the day is answering emails. And then a little later they followed up and they're like, we're down to less than 50. And then Edward from Heavy Cardboard was like, I've got 416. And Tom, the listener, was like, I would love to see Jeff's reaction if he ever had 416 emails to read in one show.
It wouldn't happen.
No. We'd start having to cull them down.
Yeah.
Is what would happen.
Indeed.
Sorry we can't read everyone's. I'm only going to read interesting ones. So now you people need to put in effort. This first email comes from Michael, titled Iowa and Wisconsin. And I agree. Now I've always been hashtag Team Adrian, but I leaned a little bit more towards hashtag Team Fuck Adrian after Wednesday's episode and the comments about driving through Iowa and Wisconsin. Note your comments about Nebraska are valid. Growing up on the eastern side of Iowa for 3/4 of my life, there has been plenty to enjoy while driving through Iowa and living on the Mississippi. But I will agree west of Des Moines is absolutely awful, just like Nebraska. I also hope you stopped at Toppling Goliath Brewery in Decorah, Iowa, while you drove through, since they have some amazing beer.
We did not, since we entered Iowa in the middle of a wicked thunderstorm at 10 p.m. on the way out there, and then we entered Iowa in bright blue sunny days at like 9 a.m. on the way home. So neither of those were appropriate times to stop off at a brewery randomly.
Bummer.
Maybe some other time.
He continues, Wisconsin is where I lived the last quarter of my life. Is he dead now? That's what it sounds like. Where I have lived the last quarter of my life.
Yeah.
The last quarter of my life.
It helps when you read all of the words.
It
Jeff.
does. He's sending it from the grave.
Yeah,
clearly.
yeah, clearly.
Okay.
I mean, technically, it's been 5 days since he
could be dead.
Oh God.
I mean,
yeah.
That's what happens when you email us. You die.
It's true. It's like The Ring.
No, don't.
Never mind. I don't know how some people have emailed us so many times.
If you email us, you'll live forever. I promise.
I promise.
Emails never die.
Yeah.
Indeed. And the scenery there is even better than Iowa's. The western half of the state gets into some pretty big hills with tons of trees that is amazing during the fall, and the eastern half has Lake Michigan that runs the entire way along it. The middle is pretty meh, but I would not consider it boring. And to be honest, Colorado is boring as fuck to drive through as well until you reach the mountains / see the mountains.
That's just because it's western Kansas.
Yeah, because that's not Colorado.
Yeah.
That's western Kansas.
Yes.
Like there's even a town, Kanserado.
Yeah.
Or Kanserado, and that's what that is. That's western Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And I drove through the middle of Wisconsin, so that meh part that's not boring. But if it's not meh, like how is meh not boring? That meh is like the physical embodiment of the sound boring makes.
Wisconsin is way better than most other places to drive through.
I mean, they're all way better than Nebraska.
Yeah.
I would drive through Iowa 10 times before I drive through Nebraska once.
Yeah. Nebraska or Kansas.
The drive itself was boring, however. Even the Mississippi, we crossed the Mississippi by like Duluth. But I've crossed the Mississippi so many times in St. Louis where there's a sweet arch and a huge bridge and a bunch of cool shit. Like,
can't get any better Mississippi crossing than there.
I mean, I'm sure you can. But it's
fireworks go off every time you cross the bridge. You've escaped Illinois.
Yeah.
And when you're going to Illinois, you've escaped Missouri. Either way you go, you've escaped a shithole.
Just constant fireworks. Keeps all the gunfire from East St. Louis drowned out.
Correct. And I don't know. I haven't been to the Lake Michigan part of Wisconsin, but I've been in the Lake Michigan part of Michigan, and that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Although even Michigan's not that great.
You drive right up Lake Michigan on the way to Milwaukee, which I did multiple times going to Gen Con when it was in Milwaukee. There's a naval base over there.
There is. Great Lakes, Chicago. That's where I went to boot camp.
Yeah. He continues, but for now, I will still be hashtag Team Adrian until he eventually slips up once again.
It is only a matter of time.
Mike. Yes. It is constant. It is forever. Adrian will fuck up.
Yeah. Thanks for the email, Mike. I am sorry to disparage the lands that you hold so dear. Maybe someday I will have a chance to actually stop and see something interesting in one of those places. But unfortunately, the timing for where I was in my drives meant that I mean, really, I probably could have been driving anywhere and still been like, this is bullshit. So it's not necessarily Iowa or Wisconsin's fault. It's 18-hour drive's fault. because those are bullshit.
Yes, they are.
Indeed. And this next email comes from Ant, titled Sorai. Fuck your Andrew.
Yes.
That's actually what he said.
It's actually what he said.
The Sorai didn't derive their words from Greek because it's Skinkian. Don't presume to know the will of the old ones.
I can't see anything wrong with that statement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The old ones.
Yep.
The Slan. The
Yep.
Slan. Yeah. That's who the old ones are. It's a Slan language, ancient Slan language.
Yeah. But
Most of them actually don't talk.
Right.
That's,
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. And then, someone could say, obviously, it's like, but that's a made up language. And then you can just respond with all language is made up. So
Mind blown.
Mind exploded.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorent lines in one of the Archer episodes. Like, that's a made up word. All words are made up.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's it for emails. Emails at milehighgameguys.com if you would like to send us an email.
Indeed. In addition to emailing us, you can leave us comments over on our Board Game Geek Guild number 2731. Zach, we have a comment over there, don't we?
Yes, we do. This is from our Roll and Rights episode from Friday. This is from Lance, and he just says, certainly not everything, but here is a geek list with many roll and rights / flip and fills / flip and rights / rando rights, and then he links it. So
Also, if you want to, because they are never ceasing posers who one-up us all the time, and by all the time I mean just this once, Draft Mechanic, which is actually a completely awesome podcast, also in the Punchboard Media Network, on Monday released their Roll and Rights episode, which includes like 7 Roll and Rights, including
I think it's like 8.
Like 8. It's a
Yeah.
bunch of Roll and Rights. And they also did a on tap for Welcome to, where they pair beers with the game. So if you want some more Roll and Write awesomeness, highly, highly recommend you go check out Jake and Danielle over on Draft Mechanic.
but do they really get in depth do they get 40 minutes into one roll and write like we did?
I have not listened to the episode yet, so I do not know how in depth they get.
If it's only an hour long,
Yep. Yeah.
they spent a reasonable amount of
Yeah.
time on each of those roll and rights.
See here, what at least we know now is like as soon as we're done talking about it, we're like, we don't need to talk about this game because there's nothing left to talk about. About that one.
We've talked about everything you could ever talk about this game.
Yep.
I just listened to their Gen Con recap, which they did under like an hour and 20 minutes over all 4 days on my way to Estes this last weekend. And I was like, and I was mentioned at least twice.
Nice.
Oh,
Aha!
moving up in the world, Jeff.
Yeah. I missed out on the selfie by 30 seconds.
Womp womp.
Womp womp.
I did not keep track of who was the tallest people at Gen Con I saw. That was a constant running theme. Tall people.
Yeah?
That's what they did. All Gen Con. Man, that guy's tall.
That's just my life.
Yeah.
So, anyhow.
Because you're a tiny 5'6" person.
You know you're short when you have to add the half in there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's 5.5 feet. Yeah, that's what he was saying.
Yeah.
5'6". That's 5.5. Yeah.
Correct. Zach can do math.
Yeah.
Even in base 12.
Base 12. Like the Babylonians.
You can also get a hold of us over on our YouTube channel, which is not entirely Paulo's Corner, apparently, if last week taught us anything. And this week, we have a comment from Paulo. What the
He's
hell? Who's this Christopher guy? I demand that he is banned from my YouTube corner. So maybe don't comment on YouTube. Paulo will come for you.
You'll start YouTube comment fights.
Yeah. Don't go visit Portugal. He'll be
Or
there.
do.
Or do.
It's a lovely place.
He'll be there waiting for you though.
On a dock. Fists wailing. Just old-timey boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Just ready.
Old-timey boxing.
Yep.
Yeah.
The best thing is I know exactly what you're talking about because it is such an iconic thing.
Mm-hmm. He will punch you right in your Dracula face.
Yep.
You can also always find us over on Twitter, where I tweet under @MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
And I am Jeff_MHGG.
We are on Facebook and Instagram /Mile High Game Guys. And if you want to support the show, you can always do so by jumping over to patreon.com /Mile High Game Guys like our latest patron, Jeff, who left us this.
Not this Jeff.
No, not me.
Not this
Jeff wouldn't support this show.
No,
Jeff
no.
C over here.
I spend enough of my life.
Jeff C, not Jeff J. And he writes, "Hey, MHGG and the community. I heard there wasn't enough Jeffs around, so wanted to help fix that issue. I've been listening to the podcast for the last 6 months or so, and have been moving it higher and higher in my order of plays, so wanted to throw my support in. Great show. The banter is fun and often hilarious, and I certainly appreciate the different perspectives you all bring during reviews. Aside from Settlers of Catan and the standard retail games, I've really gotten in deep in the last 2 to 3 years, and it was actually due to some PC gaming streamers / podcasters mentioning more and more games and then discovering Battlestar Galactica, the board game. My first Euro, aside from Catan, was Agricola, which gave me a preview of the complexity and depth that was out there. Overall, I tend to like more Ameritrash games,
Yes.
but still like quite a few dry Euros, so I'm pretty much up for everything. So hello from the Denver in the Great White North, Calgary, Canada, and keep on being the most podcast."
I assume he meant hello to the Denver?
Or he's
No,
calling
from the Denver in the Great White North.
Yeah, he's
so
saying
he's saying
he's-
Calgary
Calgary
is the
is
Denver
Denver.
of Canada.
Oh.
Calgary was nice when I went there. It was
Okay.
cold as balls, though.
Is it the Denver of the Great White North?
According to Jeff, it is.
I will believe a Jeff.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Calgary's at like a mile high also or something. I don't
Maybe.
know. I have no idea.
I'm going to believe all these things.
Yes.
I don't know enough about Calgary to dispute them.
Yes.
Sounds about right.
Calgary.
Calgary, yes.
So-
I assume they have hockey there?
Yes.
I'm certain they do. They are Canadian. They have hockey.
I think the Olympic Village was up there, too.
Okay.
There's one up there. Saw some bobsled things.
When'd you go there?
During the winter, so it was super cold.
How long ago did you go there?
I was there like 12 years ago.
I feel like
wait.
you've been alive for multiple winters, Zach.
No, sorry, not 12. 20 years.
Okay. All right.
I don't know. It's been a while.
I was in Colorado like 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
I don't know.
20?
No, 20, maybe 17 years ago.
Okay.
That sounds right.
Riveting stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was the first time I was in Colorado.
Visiting, I assume?
Yes, visiting. I found pictures of that recently on my visit home. I will never let anyone see those pictures. Oh, it's bad.
Is it babyface?
Yeah,
Super
that's
babyface?
super baby mid-teens Jeff.
Mm.
Those will never see the light of day.
In the move, I found an old photo album that was like all high school photos of me and ex-girlfriends and stuff. And high school Adrian had some interesting fashion choices.
Mm.
High school Zach had some bad fashion choices.
How's that Dragon Ball Z
Oh,
shirt?
it's still waiting. It's still waiting.
You should wear that sometime.
I whenever I can wear it, I would wear it to game night. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Some nice Dragon Ball Z silk shirts.
oh yeah.
there you go, Jeff. You've spawned an entire tirade on our youth fashion choices.
Indeed.
So that's how we roll.
That's
Thanks,
why-
Jeff, for the message and for the support.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
This was not $1, so
No,
you just get
you
thanked.
you don't get mocked. You get legitimate and sincere thanks.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are a quality human being.
He's a Jeff.
Yep. 5 times as good as many other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those are all the different ways to get a hold of us and or support us and interact with us and whatnot. Also, join the Slack channel. There's links in the show notes over on milehighgameguys.com.
You know when
And the Slack channel is stupid-eyed. It's getting hard to keep up with.
You know
Especially with all the move. I've been busy and I got out of the habit. And like once that happened, it's hard to get back into the like, oh shit, I need to actually like participate and respond.
when Paul's been on there when you have 300 unread messages.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, somebody got Paul heated.
Somebody spouted an opinion and then Paul responded.
Somebody had an opinion that differed from Paul.
Yep.
But yeah, plenty of ways to get in touch with us. And we love hearing from all of our fans all around the globe. So thank you all so much. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to tune in on Friday for our review of Founders of Gloomhaven. It should be a pretty good one.
Yeah.
So
Finally getting back to heavy games.
yeah,
Correct.
sort of.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we'll address that during the review. Don't worry.
We're doing it now.
In the meantime, this episode, as all of our Wednesday episodes have been recently, is sponsored by Greyfox Games, our awesome sponsors. Their game, Pocket Mars, is available at retailers now. You can add it to your cart over at greyfoxgames.com and play Pocket Mars, which you guys had a chance to play during Gen Con. So how was Pocket Mars?
I enjoyed it. We've played it at game night as well.
I have not.
You have not, but we have. You have a variety of astronauts on Earth. The population of Earth is just astronauts for some reason.
Yeah.
And your goal is and your goal is to get them all to Mars. You have 4 cards, 2 down in front of you, 2 in your hand, of various different colors that match the habitation modules that are on Mars that have various powers that let you use. Get more points because there's 2 different rooms on each of these. You can play cards straight out of your hand for kind of quick powers. You have energy that you can spend that require a lot of these different prep modules and stuff that you will play in front of you. Require energy to be able to get their powers. And you're just trying to get the astronauts from Earth to Mars via your spaceship, and on rare occasions, straight to Mars. Straight from Earth to Mars.
It was like a giant catapult.
Yes, just launched you. We're just going to have we're going to have the express route, express lane right here. Enjoy your poop bag for 6 months.
Yeah.
I found it very enjoyable, and the best part about it, it's quick.
Yep.
10, 15 minutes. I think our first learner game was like 20. And then since then, it's been a nice, quick, like easy, let's bring this out and play this while we wait for people to show up for game night.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you want it, like I said, $14.99 over on GreyFoxGames.com.
Great deal. Great deal for a good game.
Jeff, do you have a prepared statement?
I do. Greyfox Games, quality games, cleverly crafted. Also, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal.
I don't know if that's true because I've not dealt with either a cornered fox or a jackal.
What about a cornered jackal?
I feel like that might get back above the fox.
Okay, all right.
It goes like fox, jackal, cornered fox, cornered jackal.
Gotcha.
Okay. I believe that.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about cornered animal procedures to dispute it.
You don't know enough about a lot of things to dispute a lot of things tonight, don't you, Jeff?
We've gone out of my wheelhouse.
Be sure to tune in, everyone, on Friday for our review of Founders of Gloomhaven, where we'll settle once and for all, is it heavy enough? And thanks for listening to this episode. As always, I have been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
And I'm Captain Jeff.
Bye.
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 Was Lisa Frank really into... Never mind. No, that's Anne Frank. Different one.
Wow.
Wow.
All right. Jesus.
I was going to make a really smarmy comment about being into unicorns, and then I was like, oh, wait.
I think she had more important things to worry about.
You think?
Punchboard Media, where we all
bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair
At punchboardmedia.com.